Hi everyone, it's Marco and I hope you're having a great start of this year 2023. I wanted to do this video at the start of the year to really tell you about my strategy to invest in 2023 and also give you some ideas on how you can make your own strategy for this year. So a lot of things are changing. For example, there's a lot of inflation around the world at the moment. The prices of everything are rising. And we'll see what impact it has also on my investment strategy, what will change, what will stay the same, and I will tell you all about it in the video. So I will basically split this video into three parts, which are the three different parts of my portfolio for this year. The first part will be the foundation, really what is really passive, stable, safe as well, with decent yields still. But that will be the main part of my portfolio. Then we'll go into some other type of investments that are slightly higher returns, but also slightly a bit more difficult to invest in. That will be a smaller part of the portfolio. And at the end, I also want to tell you some ideas I want to explore for more riskier way to invest while still having all the principles of my investments, like being passive, being completely online, and other criteria that I apply on all my investments, but with slightly larger risk, but also much higher returns. So we'll talk all about that in the video. So first, the foundation. This will not change a lot this year because that's always been the basis of my portfolio. And those are mainly two things: dividend growth stocks and also investing on crowd lending platforms. So this is the foundation of my portfolio, which has good returns between 4 or 5% for dividend growth stocks and also around 10% for real estate crowdfunding and peer-to-peer lending, which is the second part. And also it's completely passive. It can be done all online and it doesn't require any action of my part to actually manage it. So let me tell you about the two parts of this foundation. So first, there is dividend growth investing, which is basically investing in the stock market, but only in stocks that actually pay dividends and grow it over time. I have a lot of videos on this topic, so I won't go into details here, but basically it will give you great returns over time because these dividends will grow, and therefore, compared to your initial investment, you will get a lot of returns. So this would be a great year, I believe, for this type of investments because the market is quite low. It's recovering, but still quite low compared to 2019 and 2020. There are great opportunities because of that. Because there are well-run companies, very solid companies on the market that really are at a low price at the moment. And therefore, it's great for dividend investing because those companies are currently at a discount, and it will give you a great initial yield and therefore an even better yield in the future. So this will be a great year to invest in dividend growth stocks. On the crowd lending side, it will also be a great year because of the inflation, which is bad, right? At the start, because everything we buy is more expensive. But it also means that interest rates on such platforms are also higher. It's not unusual currently to see again yields of 12-13%, even on large platforms like Mintos in Europe, for example. And that's unseen of for many years because it was more like in the 10% range on many platforms recently. But now, because of inflation, those interest rates are going up again. And that's great for investments and also to beat inflation because you will have interest rates that are higher than this ever-growing inflation in many countries. So this will be really the foundation of my portfolio. So I will invest in usual platforms like Mintos, for example, in the peer-to-peer lending side, but also more into real estate using platforms like Reinvest24, Estate Guru, and many more. So that will be my foundation, but that's not all I will invest on this year. I also want to explore other opportunities. For example, investing in profitable websites or online businesses. So I already touched a bit about that on my site. So basically, it's about buying an existing online business that is already making and generating money. So I didn't speak that much about this type of investment in the past years because it's not that passive. You actually need to manage the business. And also, it's not that accessible compared to other investments I'm telling you about on this channel. For example, for dividend growth investing or crowdlending, you can invest from 100 euros, sometimes even less. Here, we are more talking about $50,000 or euros. So it's near like buying a flat, right? It's near like traditional real estate, with businesses going up like 1-2 million even, right? Because it's real online businesses. So that's why I didn't mention that that much. However, it's really interesting because you have yields in the range of 40, even sometimes 50%. It makes it really interesting compared to other type of investments. However, I want to talk about this more this year because a lot of things actually changed. First, you have a lot more financing options, meaning that you will have websites or companies that will help you to finance those deals, and they will not based on the type of investment or on your own financial situation like banks would do, right? And banks will never give you a loan for this type of project, but they will actually base themselves on the actual website you want to buy and its cash flow. And they know the fields and they know how to analyze those websites. And therefore they will base their decision on this and not on your financial history. Also, on a lot of platforms, you will actually find pre-approved deals, meaning that you will find some deals that already have financing and that you can actually buy with this financing option and therefore access those deals with a much lower initial investment. So that makes it really interesting. You also have many companies now that offer to manage those websites for you. And actually, that's a field I want to get in myself. So you can actually invest in those profitable websites, online businesses, without having to be an expert in the field or even having to manage any of the sites. Somebody else will do it for you in exchange for a fee, of course. That means a bit lower yields. However, it's still very interesting. You can still get 25-30%, even with a completely managed investment. And that's much higher than anything else we talked about earlier in this video. So this is something I really want to get on more this year, share with you all my experience and also my own investments in this field, and really help you to get more into this. So this will be another part of my portfolio. I also still want to have like a little, the tip of my portfolio, maybe 5%, to experiment into other fields of investment. For example, I want to get more into equity crowdfunding, meaning investing in the stock of a startup or at least a young company in the hope that they will actually grow much more in the future. It's like what angel investors do or large investment funds. But you can actually do that using some platforms like Crowded Hero in Europe. Seeders also allow that. So you can actually invest just 100, 200 euros in the stock of those companies, hoping that there will be a large return on capital. Of course, this is very risky because most of the company will either go bust or just not grow enough to generate returns for investors, but that's also something I want to get into. I also want to explore other ways to invest. For example, algorithmic trading, which is super risky. Trading has a very bad reputation, and that's not what I want to get into. That's not something I do. I just want to see if, using programming, using mathematics, you can actually generate a system that generates some passive income. And I will play with that. I don't know if that will work or not. I will just share with you the results of this experiment if I manage to get something useful and that actually produce some income, stable income. And I would just want to play with that and see where it actually leads. But for sure, those kind of more riskier investments will not be more than 5%, maybe not even more than 1% of my portfolio, because I still want to be very conservative with my investment portfolio. So that was my strategy to invest in 2023. If you want to learn more already, I put some links just below the video to get you started in many of those fields that I mentioned in the video, so make sure to check it, that's just below the video. Of course, if you have any comments or questions about the content of the video, please let me know in the comment just below the video. And that being said, thank you again for watching the video, and I will see you in the next one.